Just east of the land of Israel, across the Jordan River in the Bible, is a country called Moab. And they're neighbors geographically to Israel, but more than that, they interact a lot with each other throughout the scriptures. The Moabites came from a man named Lot, who was Abraham's nephew. And Lot had to flee a city that was going to be destroyed. And the only people that he saved with him were his 2 daughters. Fearing their father wouldn't have a son to carry on his name, his daughters got him drunk so that they could have children with him. One of these children that was born is named Moab, and the other was named Ammon. So Moab isn't off to a great start. Now, you might recall that the Israelites also came from someone who is related to Abraham. They came from his grandson, Jacob. So when you go all the way back through the lines of these 2 nations, they're actually related. Moab came from Abraham's nephew, while Israel came from his grandson. And you might think that being related might make these 2 nations close, but the opposite is actually true. In fact, in Deuteronomy 23, God commands the children of Israel that a Moabite or an Ammonite were never to enter his congregation. They weren't even allowed in Israel. But why such a harsh commandment? Well, in Deuteronomy 23, it goes on to explain that the Moabites and the Ammonites, when the children of Israel were escaping Egypt, weren't there to help them in their time of need. In fact, when the Israelites asked for food and water, the Moabites and the Ammonites refused, and even went so far as to hire someone to curse Israel. And this interaction with Israel and the command and divine judgment that followed from God teaches us an important lesson. It teaches us a lesson about hospitality and how we should show it to anyone who needs our help. We've looked at Ruth, a Moabite, who actually was allowed into the congregation of Israel, but that's because she learned the lesson of hospitality in caring for her mother-in-law, Naomi. She learned this lesson that other Moabites in the past didn't learn. For us today, we can look into what Jesus has commanded us. In Matthew 25, in a parable, Jesus says that inasmuch as ye have done it to the least of these my brethren, ye have done it unto me. How we treat those who need our help, whether we're related to them or whether we even know them or not, shows how we treat Jesus. So when we read about Moab and their enmity with Israel, we can think about how we should treat others with hospitality. If we don't, we will not be allowed into the congregation of God. But if we do, like Ruth, we will be accepted with open arms.